No Michael Phelps.
No Usain Bolt.
No Mo Farah.
And last but not the least, no audience. Sounds familiar? Well, if you have been anywhere near the news over the past year, it sure would be. We at the Guindy Times, the official campus magazine of CAG, AC Tech and SAP, are here with our video preview of the 2020 Tokyo Olympics.
Wait, why are we calling this the 2020 Olympics? Aren't we in 2021?
Oh no, the Olympics originally scheduled for 2020 has been postponed for the first time ever rather than being cancelled in the Olympic history. That is why we are calling it as 2020 Olympics.
I would like to introduce my co-panelists, Sharon and Vidoshna, who will be sharing their knowledge and predictions of the games. So Sharon, tell me, what are your views on the transition of the Olympic Games from way back in 1896 to today's version? How do you feel it has evolved?
Well, that's a good question, Ritvik. The games, as we know, it is a result of transformation and modernization spanning hundreds of years. A small trip down memory lane. The first recorded Olympic Games were held at Olympia in the Greek city-state of Elis in 776 BC. But it's generally accepted that the Olympics were at least 500 years old at that time. The ancient Olympics held every 4 years occurred during religious festival honoring the Greek god Zeus in the 8th century BC. Contestants came from a dozen or more Greek cities and by the 5th century BC from as many as 100 cities throughout the Greek Empire.
Yes, Sharon. And initially, Olympic competition was limited to foot races, but later a number of other events were added, including wrestling, boxing, horse and chariot racing, and military competitions. The pentathlon, introduced in 708 BC, consisted of a foot race, the long jump, discus and javelin throws, and wrestling. While it began with only 13 nations, now the Olympic Games consist of 33 sports of varying caliber and 206 participating nations.
Yes, and not to forget is the Olympic symbol, the 5 interlocking rings representing the 5 participating continents, Europe, Africa, Asia, America, and Oceania. So tell me, Vidoshna, how do you feel this year's Olympic Games is different, considering the fact that this is the first time the Games has ever been postponed?
Well, obviously there has been a paramount effect of the COVID-19 virus on the mark event this year. With the postponement of the Games and the complete absence of audience, there certainly is an air of uncertainty. But nevertheless, the athletes from around the world have braved quarantines, travel regulations, and stringent biobubbles to make it to the Olympic village, and they will definitely be looking to return with a medal for their nation to boost the morale of their people in these testing times. But how prepared do you think the Olympic Committee is for these games in the midst of a pandemic?
Well, that's a very valid question. The International Olympic Committee has taken precautions of the utmost measure to ensure that the games are conducted safely. The athletes would undergo a COVID test on 2 separate days within 96 hours before their arrival to Japan. On reaching Tokyo, the athletes are supposed to take another test at the airport.
Yes. And also, during the course of the games, the athletes will have to undergo daily. The delegations arriving from countries identified to be carrying a higher risk would have to undergo even stricter measures. 2 groups will be divided based on the risk nature of the countries from where the athlete delegations have come. And for the first 3 days, all the athletes from both groups will be barred from interacting with other delegations.
Okay, that seems intense but is necessary considering the present situation. Now moving to the location, Tokyo is hosting the Summer Olympics for the second time after 1964. The temperature in the land of the cherry blossoms is expected to hover between 26 to 27 degrees Celsius for the entire duration of the Olympics, which is actually significantly warmer than the average Olympic temperature of 11.1 degrees Celsius. The Grand Olympic Stadium that can seat 68,000, albeit empty this time around, however, will host athletic events and football matches.
Yes, and other notable venues include the Tokyo Stadium in the pentathlon, rugby and football matches, and the Araki Urban Sports Park where cycling and skateboarding will be held. Swimming and triathlon will be held at the Odaiba Marine Park, while hockey will be played at the Oi Hockey Stadium, Tokyo.
So guys, which are the most exhilarating and most competitive sports in the Olympics? And which countries are the most superior in them? Who can we expect to walk away with the most medals?
Well, beginning with the most fascinating sport to watch, gymnastics. Most of us cannot pretend we could be competitive gymnasts. Olympic gymnasts are real-life superheroes. They fly through the air with the greatest of ease. They complete feats of strength beyond our capabilities. There is a balance and rhythm to every gymnastics competition. Fans sit and marvel while watching balance beam and pommel horse performances. Floor routines then bring in-arena customers to their feet in excitement and appreciation.
Also, does not hurt that female American gymnastics are often the biggest stars of any Olympics. Mary Lou Retton became America's sweetheart in the summer of 1984. A magnificent 7 made history and won the first ever gold medal for the United States in the team competition in 1996. The Fierce Five won gold in 2012. Simone Biles, Allie Rampson, and Gabby Douglas are all household names, if only for a little while in 2016.
So, we can expect female American gymnasts to dominate the Tokyo Games as well as with gymnasts like Simone Biles raring to go. Next, proceeding to track and field events. Track and field events at any Olympics are perfect in their simplicity. One man or woman runs faster than all opponents and somebody throws an object further than his competitors. Sprint races are over in literally seconds. What's there not to love?
The men's 100-meter final is a highlight of any Olympics. No other race awards the winner with the label of the fastest man on earth. Usain Bolt is a superstar around the world, all because he covered 100 meters faster than anybody before.
Veteran US sprinter Justin Gatlin has set his eyes on an Olympic gold this time around. The 39-year-old, if he makes the podium this time, will be the oldest man to win an Olympic medal at a track event.
Other prospective stars include Ben Berry and Allyson Felix, participating in hammer throw and 200 meter sprint respectively. The United States is by far the best performing nation in the history of track and field events at the Olympic Games. American athletes have won 315 of the 842 gold medals available, which is more than that of the next 8 most successful nations.
Guys, let us now turn out towards Odaiba Marine Park, where the some swimmers will be ready to dive in a few days. Swimming at the 2020 Olympics will feature a total of 37 events, including 2 10-kilometer open water marathons. This is a slight increase from the 34 events conducted in the previous Olympic Games. Events include freestyle, backstroke, breaststroke, butterfly, individual medley, relay, and marathon, with each event except the 10-kilometer marathon having different distance categories.
While Australian swimmers have always dominated the Olympics, Australian Ariarne Titmus will be expecting stiff competition from American Katie Ledecky. While Ariarne Titmus swam the second fastest women's 400-meter freestyle in history at the Australian swimming trials in June, observers called it a warning shot to US powerhouse Katie Ledecky, who set the world record at the Rio Olympics.
Other participants to watch out for include Emily Seebohm and Hungarian Kacinka Kosu, a veteran racer at 32. Kacinka Kosu holds a pair records in 200-meter and 400-meter individual medley events, which require swimmers to master all 4 strokes: butterfly, backstroke, breaststroke, and freestyle. And she dominated her opponents in those events at the 2019 World Championships.
Another exciting sport is water polo. Water polo looks simple enough. Competitors swim around in a pool and they throw a ball to teammates and then attempt to place that ball into a goal, all while trying to evade opponents that are swimming after them. What could be so difficult about it?
Yes, do it once and you'll forevermore become exhausted merely by watching the best players in the world. It's as grueling a sport as you'll find at any Olympics. Water polo is a quintessential sport.
Ashley Johnson was the first African-American woman to represent the USA water polo team and help them win gold at Rio 2016. The 26-year-old goalkeeper hopes to increase diversity in the sport and inspire young children who will see themselves in her. Guys, moving to table tennis, what's the forecast for the paddlers?
16 national Olympic committees have confirmed their men's table tennis teams for the upcoming Tokyo Olympics, whilst the women's team will include 15 national Olympic committees. A total of 93 players are set to contest both the men's and women's team event in the rescheduled Summer Games. For the men's team event, Europe has the largest representation, featuring Germany, Slovenia, Croatia, Sweden, France, Portugal, and Serbia, all set to battle for Olympic glory.
World number 2 Nima Ito and the world number 4 Tomoko Harimoto, who both enjoyed successes at the inaugural World Table Tennis Contender Series in Doha, will spearhead the host nation charge on home soil. Japan has never won a gold medal in the team event, with the men's team finishing second in Rio 2016, whilst the women's team fell short against China in the finals at the 2012 London Games.
What sports without football? US and Netherlands boast 2 of the greatest sides of women's football, while in men's football, Neymar-less Brazil will look to defend their Olympic gold medal. We have all seen how exciting football can be in the recently concluded Euro Cup and Copa America. So, we are sure to have a great week.
There is no Olympics without combat. That is why the combat events taekwondo, judo, fencing, boxing, and wrestling attract viewers. Historically, karate has not been a part of recent Olympics. However, karate was approved for 2020 Olympics because the events are being hosted by Japan. At the 2020 Olympics, the karate events will include Kuwait, and Qatar.
Saeed Moli returns to Tokyo, determined to banish painful memories. In 2019, the Iranian-born judoka was ordered by Tehran officials to throw his World Judo Championship semi-finals in the Japanese capital to avoid having to compete in a final against an opponent from Israel, which Iran doesn't recognize as a state.
Racing Gordon, a two-time Olympian fencer, is another star to watch out for. There are a myriad of other sports in the Olympics, which include rowing, canoeing, cycling, and volleyball.
18 nations will be competing in the Olympic Rowing Regatta, which will start soon at the Sea Forest Waterway on Tokyo Bay. A total of 526 athletes have qualified, 260 men and women each, in the 14 boat classes. The Netherlands has qualified the greatest number of boats, 11. This is followed by Canada and Great Britain, each with 10 boats.
The cycling competitions of the 2020 Summer Olympics in Tokyo will feature 22 events in 5 disciplines, and volleyball is expected to be dominated by Olympic champions Brazil.
And guys, a few interesting points to note about the 2020 Olympics. Costing $15.4 billion, this is the most expensive Olympics ever. Also, surfing, skateboarding, and sport climbing are sports that are set to make their debuts this time around. So, will it be US walking away with the most medal like the previous Olympics, or will we see a new winner this time?
Okay, but guys, aren't we missing something? After all, there is no place like home, and let us now focus on the prospect of our very own Indian athletes.
Yes, absolutely, Sharon. The first medal for India at the Olympics came during British rule and was won by Norman Pritchard. Since then, India has improved by leaps and bounds, and the first medal for independent India was a silver won by K.D. Jadhav in wrestling in 1952.
While the Indian hockey team won the first gold medal in 1928, independent India won its first hockey gold medal in 1948. Abdul Bindra won gold at 2008 Beijing Olympics, the men's 10-meter air rifle event, becoming the first Indian to win an individual gold medal. At the 2016 Rio Olympics, India won 2 medals, a silver by shuttler PV Sindhu and a bronze by wrestler Sakshi Malik.
Speaking about PV Sindhu, what are her odds in this mark event?
PV Sindhu, the first Indian woman to win a silver medal at the Olympics badminton, has been given a comparatively easier path in the upcoming Tokyo Olympics. Sindhu has been selected in Group J of women's singles and she has been seeded 6th. She has won as many as 3 World Championship medals, including the gold in 2019.
Although she went on a silver medal spree at one time in her career, Sindhu bounced back strongly with a gold medal win in BWF2 finals. In 2018, Nozomi Okara in the final match went on for nearly 62 minutes. Sindhu clinched another gold by toppling Okara 21-7 in the BWF World Championship 2019. She only played 3 tournaments in pandemic 2020. This year, Sindhu played the final of the Swiss Open, where she lost to Marin, who has been ruled out of Olympics.
Yes, Sindhu is one of India's greatest medal prospects.
B. Sai Praneeth can very well create history by becoming the first ever Indian male shuttler to win an Olympic medal in badminton. Praneeth has 226 wins in his career and is eyeing his maiden medal in the event. Praneeth has been in decent form in 2021. He has won and lost 3 matches each this year. Praneeth's best performance in 2021 came in the Swiss Open, where he made it to the second round.
Like Praneeth, the team of Satvik Sairaj Rankireddy and Chirag Shetty is also eyeing history by becoming the first ever doubles pair to win an Olympic medal. They made it to the Olympics after being ranked 9th. They will be coached by Matthias Sabo, who won the silver medal in the London Olympics.
Moving to tennis, the doubles team of Sania Mirza and Ankita Raina are all set. Sania, 34, is now set to become the first female athlete to represent India at the 4 Olympics. Well, it will be a debut for Ankita Raina at the showpiece event. Let's just see how the exciting combination of experienced and debutant stands up for India.
Speaking about our national sport, hockey, after utterly dominating at Olympics from 1928 to 1956 with 6 successive gold medals, India last won a medal at the 1918 Moscow Olympics, where it came first. Since then, there has been a medal drought.
But ranked 4th in the world, the current men's and women's team, captained by Manpreet Singh and Rani Rampal, look like they can take on the best and will surely look to end the 31-year medal drought at the Summer Olympics.
An unprecedented 9 Indian boxers will be taking the ring at the Tokyo Olympics, conscious of the fact that medal expectations from them are all at an all-time high.
Amit Pankal, competing in the 52 kg category, is shouldering expectations that would be enough to bog down a super heavyweight in some cases. The world number 1 and top seed is being seen as a sure shot medal for India. The army man from Haryana is a nice mix of controlled aggression and tactical acumen.
MC Mary Kom is the most celebrated Indian boxer. With 6 World Championship gold medals under her belt, Mary is the synonym with boxing in India. The mother of four is currently in red-hot form. She will enter the Tokyo 2020 Games after winning a silver and a bronze medal in the Asian Boxing Championship and Boxam International Boxing Tournament respectively.
Going into the Olympics, Mary's biggest weapon is her 2-decade-long experience and sometimes her resume of 19 international medals, which consists of 13 gold, 3 silver, and 3 bronze medals. It is enough to scare the inexperienced boxers. This will be the perfect opportunity for the 38-year-old boxer to demonstrate what she has learned in her 2-decade-long career and fulfill her medal cabinet by winning the elusive Olympic gold.
Bullseye. This is exactly what Indian archers and shooters will be aiming for when they take on the world's best at Tokyo. Archery is one event where India has yet to win a medal at the Olympics. However, this time around, the country is confident of its archery contingent as all 4 qualified competitors go into the competition having done well in their previous competitions.
4 Indian archers have qualified for the Tokyo Games. Atanu Das, Tarandeep Rai, Pravin Jadhav and Deepika Kumari. Atanu Das, Tarandeep Rai and Pravin Jadhav are the 3 archers who would be competing in the men's individual event, and these 3 also make up the men's team.
Tarandeep Rai is the oldest member of the archery team. The 37-year-old will represent the country at the Olympics for the 3rd time. The 2-time Asian Games medalist will look to guide the team and hopefully come back with a medal. Tarandeep had earlier represented India at the 2004 Athens Olympic and 2012 London Olympics.
Deepika Kumari, who is now the #1 archer in world rankings after winning gold at the Paris World Cup, is the lone Indian participant in the women's individual event. Deepika won 3 gold medals at the Archery World Cup Stage 3 in Paris.
However, earlier at the Games in London and Rio, Deepika disappointed as she was not able to bring back a medal, and now she would look to finally enter Olympic drought. She would hope to take her form into the mega event, which would be Third Olympics. The world #1 now has the country's eyeballs on her, and it would be interesting to see whether she can continue with the momentum that she grabbed during the Paris World Cup.
Moving to the shooters, Saurabh Chaudhary, Abhishek Verma, Aishwarya Pratap Singh Tomar, and Anjum Maudgil headline India's shooting squad. The terrific 15-member Indian shooting team could produce the best shooting performance ever in the Indian Olympics history. The expectations from the Indian shooting contingent are very high because of their medal-winning performances in the past. India is sending the world's top 5 shooters in the pistol team.
The Indian team had an incredible medal-winning performance at the ISSF World Cup in New Delhi and Croatia. The medal count was less in Croatia than in New Delhi because of less representation. In New Delhi, 52 shooters competed while only 14 Indian shooters were in the fray in Croatia.
Manu Bakar is also a rising shooter and one of the top medal contenders for India at the Tokyo Games. Saurabh, the youngest and the 5th Indian shooter to win an Asian Games gold medal, is also one of India's greatest medal prospects.
Heading to weightlifting, Mirabai will be the second best wrestler in the Games. Her personal best performance is 203 kg, with which she won the 49 kg gold in the National Weightlifting Championships in February 2020.
Yes, indeed. Mirabai just has to ensure that she stays injury-free and retain her form to win a medal at the Tokyo Games, and her chances of winning a bronze would further get lifted with real possibilities of winning a silver.
Wrestling has been one such sport for India that has fetched a country medals regularly since the 2008 Olympics. India will be sending a team of 7 wrestlers to Tokyo Olympics to continue the medal legacy at the Games.
Of the 7 wrestlers, Vinesh Phogat, Bajrang Punia, Deepak Punia and Ravi Kumar have been seeded in their respective categories for the Tokyo Olympics. Both Bajrang and Deepak have been seeded second in the 65 kg and 86 kg category, while Ravi has been seeded 4th in the 57 kg category. Star female wrestler Vinesh is the top seed in the 53 kg category.
Out of the Indians who have qualified the season, Bajrang and Vinesh have a good chance of winning a medal.
India has never won an athletics medal at the Olympics, and expecting the country to win one this time around is surely a long shot. But with the kind of form that the Indian track and field athletes have shown in the past couple of months, it is hard to ignore the possibility of a first ever medal in athletics for the country.
Javelin thrower Neeraj Chopra set a new national record when he threw the javelin to a distance of 88.07 meters at the 3rd leg of the Indian Grand Prix held in Patiala last month. Chopra's 88.07 meters is by far the best ever javelin throw recorded by an Indian.
Yes, if Neeraj Chopra can continue his form and momentum and touch the 90-meter distance, he might well indeed be the first person to win an athlete's medal for India at the Olympics.
India also has a proud of winning a medal in a mixed doubles event of table tennis spearheaded by 2018 Asian Games bronze medalist duo of Manika Batra and Achanta Sharath Kamal. Set to debut as an event for the first time at the Olympics, the mixed doubles will see close competition, with each country sending in only one pair each to the games.
Also to note is Bhavani Devi from Chennai, the first for the Olympics. Bhavani, who took up fencing during her school days to avoid classes, qualified for the individual sub-free section following the adjusted official ranking method employed after she could not participate in the Asia Oceania Olympic qualifying event due to COVID-19 restrictions.
Yes, and guys, like all good things that need to end, this is the end of our review. And we would like to end by wishing the Indian contingent very good luck.
Yes, indeed. And thank you guys for watching. We at Gimby Times will be back with much more.
All the best to the Indian participants and thank you viewers.
From the beautiful queen that you can be becoming. You can look at my palm and see a storm coming. Read the book of my life and see I'm overcoming.